I thought I'd jump in a little early because I don't know how long we're going to get to run for today. So I was ready. So I thought, let's go. So I'm just moving some things around here. Lots of people in the chat early this morning, which is part of the reason why I decided to jump in a bit early. I'm here reading everything. So I thought, you know what? I may as well just, jump in and start talking. So for those of you that don't know, I live in Logan in Queensland, Australia, and we're currently going through one of those once in 100-year floods that we've had 3 times in the last 10 years. In the particular region that I'm in, the water, we received approximately, from what I'm hearing some slightly different reports, but for Logan, apparently we received our annual rainfall in 3 days. So it was a huge weather event. No water systems can cope with that much water at once, and water came up everywhere. Now, we were exceptionally lucky in that our house didn't flood. There are people who have lost their entire homes, water raising above the second story of double-story houses. And I'm just watching, I've been blown away by the news. I've been in this news spiral. And one of the reasons why I wanted to come on and do today's live, even with things still a bit iffy, was that I needed to get away from the news spiral. So you guys are helping me so much. So we were really lucky that we didn't have flood water through our property. Now, in saying that, our house didn't super cope with all the rain. We found a few new leaks since the last rain event that we had, which we've had to deal with. Nothing too dramatic, just annoying. But the biggest thing, the worst thing, is that apparently our property is the low point of the sewer line. And during a flood event, guess what happens to the sewer line? It explodes. So we have had for the last 3 days, 4 days, I don't even know anymore, pure raw sewage pumping out of a pipe from our backyard down the side of our house, filling our carport and the front area of the house all the way down the driveway. So if you've seen in my Instagram story that I put in a post of me walking across planks to get to the shed, that's because I don't want to step in that grass because that's not rainwater in the grass. So yes, it's not been ideal. Now, in saying, we had problems getting hold of the council for obvious reasons, but they have totally come to the party. We let them know this morning that the pipe had stopped spewing raw sewage, and there is a cleanup crew here right now. So I don't know how loud they're going to be. They're going to have gurneys and disinfectant and all sorts of stuff. I don't know what they're going to be doing, but it could be quite loud. I'm not going to complain. I would really like for them to do their work. So yeah, that's where I'm at. And no doubt I'll say it again throughout the stream because we did start a little early. We snuck in 5 minutes early. So yeah, I'm going to say hello to everybody in the chat. We had so much conversation happening in the chat. Kathy was the first chatter as far as I could see. Lisa was asking how things are going. Well, that's pretty much how things are going, Lisa. Kathy's off to grab some tea. Ash and Eve Designs. Hello. Great day for ducks. Yes, it is. Hope you're okay where you are. The problem with this flood that's happened is, and this is an issue, I live in this region that quite often gets ignored because we're not in the fancy parts of Brisbane. We're not in the beautiful riverside views. We're down in Logan, which if you are in Australia, everyone laughs at Logan, okay? So because of that, it's not sexy to put our suburb on the news. And it took them 3 days of coverage before they realized Logan was flooded, but not just flooded, the water wasn't lowering. So, there's other areas of Brisbane that have already started their cleanups, and the water here still hadn't lowered. So, you've got council and the government telling people, okay, schools are open, go back to work, except no one could travel. There was one single road out of this region, and it was taking people 2 hours to travel what would usually have taken 5 minutes. So it was really one of those weird situations, but I'm really happy to see that, this region is starting to get some time on the news, which is great. We're getting help from the council, which is fantastic. One thing I did do was I actually took my queen inside because with all the rain, it was actually cool enough to have it on my lap. So it was one of those things. Ash and Eve says it's a little bit floody where she is. Our roads get cut off. Yeah, it's not awesome, is it? Kerry, welcome for your first time with the Fiberific Live Craft and Chat. We have started a little early. We started with a little bit of gloom. So it's 10 now. So first things first, what are you working on? Let me know in the chat. In my cup today, I have some AeroPress coffee because we are out of coffee beans and the post system cannot deliver the order that's sitting somewhere very nearby. And I have water. The AeroPress coffee is great. The coffee that I'm using in it, not so much. Sally. Everyone remember last week when everyone wrote those amazing, beautiful comments to Sally? Sally was a bit blown away. And she says, I just want to say to every one of you, thank you for all your well wishes last week. You all nearly made me cry. You are awesome. And I'm so glad to be part of this community. We're so glad you're part of this community, Sally. And I'm glad to, I'm glad to hear that the day went well. Sue Singleton, welcome to the chat. Yeah, the shack is up higher and it's drier, so that's good. We've got Louis. Louis came to work in the shack today. Let me see. I'll drop down Sue's comment. Can we see Louis? Louis, say hello. It's like I was sleeping. Poor Louis feels like he's being punished because we can't let him outside unless he's on his harness so that we can take him up to the back corner of our suburban yard, because he is a dog and dogs like things that are smelly, and to say that the stench has been unbearable is probably an understatement. So yes, it is. Gamer Widows, what have you? Gamer Widows has mint sliced tea, some Freddos, and some spinning. That sounds like a really, really nice combination. Good morning, Jennifer P. Jen Deal, I'm trying to drink more water. It's a hard thing to do. It is hard sometimes. I actually like drinking water, so I don't have too much of a problem. My issue is I don't like cold, like fridge water, like water that's been refrigerated. I like room temperature water. So, yeah, that's not always the easiest to get if I'm out and about. Morning, Box Elf. How are you going? Sally says no answers on yet to the ear issues, but I see the doctor in 4 weeks. So fingers crossed that you get all the good answers. Jackie always calls Louis a Muppet. He is a Muppet. That is correct. Working on the Alpine stitch blanket. Lovely. So I was about to ask, how did you go with him in the rain? Well, Louis is an inside dog. So he is mostly inside, but he does this thing. He taps on the door, and when he needs to go outside, so we've got a glass sliding door, and he just slides his paw down, and it makes the door shake a little. And so we know he needs to go outside. So at the moment, he's standing at the door like, come on, somebody see what I want to do. And we're just like having to put him on his harness and take him out. And he is not a fan of, he doesn't like company when he's, like the rest of us. So he's just definitely been a very, very good boy. So I wasn't going to bring him out to the shack today because I've got to walk we made a galley plank path up on Besser Brick so I could get from the house to the shack without having to walk in the sewerage. And so yeah, it's been a fun experiment. So rather than sort of hope he'd follow me on the planks, I actually carried him into the shack. So he seems to be happy about it. He was playing before with his toys. Now he's gone to sleep. So yeah, that's right, Nettie. Well, for some of those, we've got lino floors, so we've just been mopping and disinfecting. Like the poor thing, he'd be like, okay, Louis. That may happen a few times. I hope that's not as deafening for you as it is for me. Hang on a second. Louis, sit down. You sit down. We know who it is. Nikki says that you don't think about the smell of flooding. We did start a little early today, so I'm just going to have a little quick recap. We were exceptionally lucky and didn't get floodwaters on our property, which was insanely amazing. We got a lot of rain, which is very clean. The problem that we had is we are the low point of the sewer line, and the sewer line has like this vent cap thing that just blew, and we've had raw sewage pouring down our property for 4 days, and it's been not good. Let's just go with not good. So that has been, and so the council are now here. That stopped pumping out, which is fantastic. So the council are now here to do a full cleanup and sterilization of our yard, because that needs to be done quick, smart, before it dries. All right, let me have a look. I'm still going here. Bob is knitting some no-show socks. Oh, are they the cute little ones that go in your shoes so they can't be seen? Because I used to be able to buy those really simply. Now no one sells the really thin ones. Everyone's got the boring, horrible ones. So I would love to know if you have a pattern that you're willing to share and see that over in the fun zone. That would be amazing. Yeah, Louis is a Muppet and Jackie is stating truth. Absolutely. John doesn't drink in water for obvious reasons that you can read in the chat that I'm not going to put on the screen here. Melissa is so glad I'm working on a not yet finished project. Melissa, every time I think, do you know what? I just want to try something just a bit new. I've been working on these 2 projects for months. I've got your voice in my head going, just finish them. You'll be so glad you did. So yeah, I'm still working on them, which is great. Hey Lisby, welcome to the chat. Hi Abby, you should be watching classwork, not in the Lisa is having a latte and some biscuits, still in PJs due to no sleep, but perk for the day is starting to make a sleep comforter for my granddaughter. I think I'm going to make a rabbit. Nice. Kerry says, thanks for the welcome. Lots of rain here in Sydney, but no flooding in my area. Thank goodness. I've got a plunger coffee and a bottle of water while I work on a new quilt top. That sounds gorgeous. I can't wait. For Kerry and those of you that are new and may not, I don't know if Kerry's in the Fiberific Fun Zone, Sally has just popped a link in here. The Fun Zone is a Facebook group where we can all show each other photos of what we're working on and put in links to the patterns and things like that so we can all share. And it's just a really great, fun place. When you go to join, you do need to answer a couple of questions. They're very difficult questions along the lines of, do you like yarn? So, you know, they're hard. They're hard questions, and you do need to answer them before you can get through. But Sally has popped the link for the Fun Zone in the group, so right-click that and you can go and join now. Dolores says, that sounds terrible. Thoughts and prayers to those affected by the floods currently. Dolores, we've been thinking about a lot of people. We have been like even with, I don't even want to think about how much raw sewage, but with the raw sewage, it's been an issue, but it's been outside. So we had to close our doors and windows. It got very hot and stuffy because it got quite hot for a couple of days there as well. But it was outside of our house. We did not lose many personal possessions. There's a couple of things are out in the back patio or just off the back patio, like basketballs and things like that. I don't know if they will be salvageable, but it is definitely, we are unbelievably lucky. There's people who have 2-story homes that have lost everything because the water came chest height into their 2nd story. It's just devastating. It's just absolutely devastating. So we'll keep going. We'll try not to focus on it too hard. It's my life at the moment, and there's a lot of noise outside for me. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but the council have arrived to start their cleanup, which I'm so happy for. But they're going to be loud. They've got compressors and big equipment and stuff like that. So John has finished his junk cotton yarn shopping tote. Chintamani is itching to start something new, but I'm trying to finish some knitting first. Chintamani, team, finish it before you start a new thing. It's so hard, isn't it? It's so hard. Dad has a new rain gauge. The wheelbarrow overflowed last night. I haven't been, like, for those of you that have been around for a while, we do, like, on occasion I talk about my rain gauge, which is basically my foot in a puddle. I haven't been doing that lately because I don't want to put my foot in the puddles that we have right now. Melissa, I hope you have fun with your unexpected visitor. My hubby, oh, hang on. My hubby's work lost every single machine. He's been cleaning up all week until today. When we got flooded in again. Oh my gosh, Liz B, that is horrible. There's so many businesses that went under. There's so many businesses. Now, Fiberific itself, like, I'm closed due to flooding, and have been for a few days, but that's because I can't get out. Like, the sewer thing meant that it's basically blocked off our only access to leave our yard, and we don't want to walk through it. But then also, in saying that, access to where the nearest post offices are only opened up this morning as well. So hopefully I'll be able to ship some orders tomorrow. That's my plan. Get some orders out tomorrow. So we will see how that goes. I don't want to guarantee it because it's now storming and raining again, but we will see how we go. Dad is in the Blue Mountains west of Sydney, so he's in the thick of the rain. Oh my goodness. Leanne says, I can't hear your outside noise. That's great. That's great. Molly has nearly finished her Stardust Melodies blanket. That is so cool. That's got to feel good to know that's nearly done, honestly. My side, Abby says, my side of the house is fine. So Abby's tiny little air conditioner that we bought to air condition one single bedroom has been the only thing cooling the house for the last 3 days, other than a couple of ceiling fans, because we couldn't put the air conditioner from our bedroom on because it was in the thick of the stream. And because we shut the window, we didn't think, we turned it on. We were like, turn it off, turn it off. It just, anyway, it was bad. Let's just go with that. And Abby was exceptionally lucky. And yes, we do now have the obstacle course, the gangway plank that my old neighbor was amazing and organized to drop off the planks so that we had Besser bricks. So they're just Besser brick height up off the ground. So if I fall off, the worst thing that will probably happen is I will land in stuff I don't like. But it means I can get, I can not run. It means I can move from the shack to the house pretty easily. If I forget something, I don't have to go. So that's pretty cool. We'll probably have these for a few days just to, help out. Ash and Eve Design says, my shipping orders has been an issue for me as well. I think it's been an issue for a lot of the local dyers, and now a lot of the north coast of of New South Wales going down to Sydney, it's going to start being an issue for everybody. So if you're buying from dyers on the east coast of Australia, just understand that while they may not have floodwater, they may actually not be able to get to a post office safely. And even if they did, they can't guarantee the safety of your parcel because that post depot might go under. So it might actually be safer to stay with them for a bit longer. Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see. We're waiting and seeing what's going on. We're just trying to be focused. Net says rain is going to be heavy again tomorrow, so you may not get out then either. Maybe not. We have just near us towards the post office is this bridge, and it's normally got an 8 to 9 meter clearance of water, and it went under. So the last time it went under it is actually built to be higher than the 1974 flood. So those of you in Queensland understand that reference. So the 1974 floods were the highest at the time, or one of the highest at the time. And it was built to withstand that. We went over it by 0.5 meter. So Abby is asking for a close-up of her poodle. Lulu, come here, buddy. I know you're all comfy, but come here. Oh, hello, Lou. Hello, big boy. He's so sleepy. He sleeps through the live streams. He doesn't play too much. He plays before them and he plays after them. Hey, are you a sleepy boy? What's on my sleeve? Something on my sleeve. There you go, big buddy. He's a cardboard, probably from your face. Okay. Oh yeah, John, that is truth. Linda said, I hadn't even considered that shipping is an issue due to the flooding. Yeah. Yep. And I'm waiting on things to come in as well, where it hasn't been able to be delivered because of flooding, which I totally understand. Also, I don't want people coming near my driveway because it's a river of not good stuff. Nikki says that after the last 2 years, hopefully people are more understanding and much more patient. I would hope so. And the comments that I've been receiving have been good. There was one that was a little bit like, hey, where's my order kind of thing. And then once I explained what was going on, they were like totally fine. But most people, I was actually getting messages before I contacted them saying, hey, look, I just put an order in. There's no rush on it. I'm watching the news. I can see what's going on. So, yeah. Lisby says Louis is the best. Yes, he is. He's absolutely the best. All right. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. And if you are watching and you're enjoying this live stream, please remember to hit that like button. And if you are here and lurking and not typing comments, and I totally understand it, just pop in and say hello, even just once, just so I know you're there. That would be awesome as well. I mean, Abby says Louis got into an encounter with a baby blue tongue the other day. By encounter, it was they were on opposite sides of glass. There was a glass sliding door. The baby blue tongue walked right up and put his face up like, hello, what's going on in there? And Louis was like, me. I'm what's going on in here. It was quite amusing, actually. Freaky Gig, that's exactly right. Hit that like button and change top to live chat. Top chat to live chat so you miss nothing in the comments. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so let's see if this works. Put. Alrighty. Because I needed a new ball of purple over the weekend. No, feels like a weekend, wasn't the weekend. I needed a new ball of purple the other day, and have realized that when I bought all of the yarn for this project, I estimated out the meterage, but I kind of guesstimated what I would need for the purple. I have well and truly underestimated. I ordered 12 balls of the purple. I believe the pattern called for 10 100-gram balls, but I ordered 12. And this here is the 9th ball. So there's only 3 balls left, and I'm only just going past the halfway mark. And I had planned to do the border all in purple as well. So I'm going to have to put in another Knit Picks order and order at least another, I would guess another 12 balls. So yeah. Louis is so cute. Absolutely. Hello, Carolyn McMahon. Welcome to the chat. Nettie's asking if we got that storm last night. Yes, it woke me up. But I was also very relieved for it, because while it's raining, it's not adding too much to the flood issue, and it's actually washing some things off, which is nice. It's currently storming here now. Oh no, John's been in top chat this whole time. John. Yeah, I'm thinking 12 more purple. Absolutely. Because that would give me the 9 that I need for the blanket plus 6 for the border. Do you think 6 for the border would be enough? I mean, I could always make the border just a little narrower. It doesn't need to be a full 2-inch border. But anyway, we'll get to that. We're not at the border yet. I still have some work to go. Amelia, welcome to the chat. Oh, I needed the live chat today. I needed something to focus on that was not the news. Kathy said that I could do stripes for the border. I could do, other than this color, I do have leftovers of the sections. So I am concerned that I may run out of this color, and I'm really hoping, which I probably should check before I leave the shack today, that my mini packs did have a caution in it. I think it did. And that would just give me a little bit of okay, I've got a bit of extra if I need it. But I'm really hoping I make it, because I made it to the halfway mark of the caution, but I was short 6 stitches or something. So we'll see how that goes. Hello, Ali. Welcome to the chat. Good to see you here. Jackie says that I don't think you missed too much. I think it's more a little bit out of order. But yeah, our chat doesn't move so fast that you miss a lot. That's right. Jen Deal did stripes on hers. Awesome. I saw something. I saw Joss. Joss commented. Joss was here. Where's Joss? Oh, there you go. Good morning. I have you on the TV and working from home perks. Gotta love some working from home perks. Josephine is home today as well, playing catch up. The work phone invariably rings as soon as you start talking. Oh, goodness me. Awesome. You guys are brilliant. John says, I did one side of the border the sand color and the other side of the border the ombre. I mean, that's always an option as well. So just to sort of do one side one color and one side another color. Although I think I would prefer like the striping of, like, say, a purple then some color, then a purple then some color. So I would invariably use more purple because I don't think I have enough. I'm hoping I would have enough of each color to do a full round, but I don't think I do, honestly. And I don't want to buy more color. I'd rather just buy more purple, honestly. Ali, you're an Aussie as well. I hope you are keeping dry. I really do. Jen is jealous of the working from home perks. Hearing you have been in self-care and used blackouts. I've started a cow recently. Happy with how it's going. I go and, like, I'm not going to put the news on. I'm not going to put it on. I'm not going to put it on. And then I realize, without even thinking about it, I put the news on, and I've been sitting there watching it like a a ghoul for hours. And it's just, I've just sit there like with my mouth like this, like I'm not even crafting. And so it's just been a little bit overwhelming. So to sit in here chatting with you guys is making a huge difference for me. Difference words, Chantel. So I really do appreciate you jumping in and hanging out with me today and keeping my mind off things. In saying that, I'm actually pretty happy because the council are here cleaning up what I consider to be their mess. So yeah. Let me look here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think I need 5. I do. We're just starting a new round, a new row of the Queen. We're still using the caution for the big middle panel bit. And we will just keep going until we can't go anymore. I do want to dig through and double check that I do only have 3 balls of purple left. Oh, and that was the other thing. I was looking at Knitpicks, and it's like the time I need some yarn, they're not having a sale on the yarn that I need. And I'm just like, I don't want to pay, like, what I think it worked out to be like it's $5.70 a ball right now. And I'm just like, really? Do I really want to? I mean, I probably end up buying it, but I would, if there's a sale in the next couple of weeks, I would like to take advantage of that. If you hear me, Knitpicks, I would love a sale on some Brava, specifically the eggplant. Let's have a look. Ali says that she's a little dry, not flooded here in Toowoomba, but I hope you're safe and dry. It's been raining again today, but it's nice and cool. It is lovely and cool, which I'm really enjoying. It was a bit muggy this morning, but it's definitely cooled down. Chris has asked if I'm flooding here. Chris, I live in an area of Brisbane called Logan, and we had the absolute worst floods that we've had in, I don't know, since 90s. Our flood levels were higher than the 1974 floods. But my actual house is fine. We haven't had any flood water, but there was a sewage main break, and we have had everybody's sewage, raw sewage, flowing through our property for the last 4 days. So, man, we have our own flood issues. But in saying that, it's not in the house. None of our belongings have been damaged. We're exceptionally lucky. We just couldn't breathe the air. Well, Well, the fruit trees are on the other side of the yard, and they're up high, so they're not getting any of that. We can actually go up to the back corner, and I was standing up there this afternoon with Tim, like going, if you just breathe just a bit shallowly, you can't smell anything. And he was just laughing at me. But we stood there for a little while talking, just in the cool shade of the afternoon. It was just quiet, and there was no noise, and it was just like, oh, and then we went back to the house where it stinks. So yeah. We do just have a slightly larger block of suburban block. We jokingly call the back corner the top paddock, just because it's this big section of grass. So that's why we call it that. I did post on Facebook that I did some work on this. How many inches did you do not during live? I can't count. I didn't count inches, but I did from the marker. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, which doesn't sound heaps, okay? But considering I haven't done anything in not live, then that's pretty cool, I think. Yeah. Yes. But yeah, so what is that? It's like, I don't know, maybe 2 inches, 1.5 inches, 2 inches, around that, I think. Around there somewhere. Let me see what I'm doing here. So 2, then 1, then 3, then 1. All right, we've done the starting section. I can now make the graph of this section big. Okay. I'm so glad you escaped the floods, but it's very smelly. My sister is in Logan and she didn't get flooding either, and thankfully, but her roof leaked pretty bad. We've got 3 new leaks that we've found in our roof during all that heavy rain. So yeah. Sally says that's heaps considering how long it is. It's 2.2 meters long. Look, I do have the big desk view set up today, so it is 2.2 meters long each row. So yeah, I mean it's a fair bit considering we normally only get about 2 rows done per live stream. Mind you, I sit here and chat and not using my hook, so I mean that could play a big part of it, right? Where does that go? That's supposed to go here. Okay. John says that's the best way to mark a queen stitch marker in every repeat. I don't think I've got one quite in every repeat. I think I've missed a repeat here and there just because I ran out of stitch markers. I've now purchased myself another packet of stitch markers, but I still haven't added it in. But yeah, but I do like the idea of the stitch markers down the side, John, every 10 rows, just so you know where you're up to. That would be cool too. Yeah. Kathy says, I've posted my queen so you can see my stripes. It's best seen when you enlarge the photos. I'll definitely be checking that after the live stream on my big screen here. Jen Deal, I love that idea, but I can't use Vicks, so it takes my skin off, which is not awesome. Yeah, it'll take, because I've got different bits of skin that will get taken off easy with other things. My parents, because I would get very sick, and my parents are hippies, they worked out they couldn't put Vicks on my chest because it caused an asthma attack. If they put it anywhere on my face, the skin came off. And but they found that I could put it on the soles of my feet and cover my feet with socks, and then I could breathe easier. I don't know if there's some sort of pressure points or something in your feet. Anyway, I would feel better after it. I mean, walking around Vicks on your feet isn't fun, but normally they would do it where I would have my head under the blanket. While they did it, they pull the socks and then cover my feet with the blanket, and then I bring my head out. So it was like, it was the best thing we could do, right? It was the 70s. John says 2.2 meters is 7 foot 2 inches. Absolutely. It is long. Are you almost done with it? No, I think the halfway point's about here. We're just past the halfway point, Chris. It's been going forever. I'm never going to finish it. Hi, Holly. How are you going? Jackie says that currently north of Brisbane and north of Sydney are getting a hammering. We've got sprinkling showers right now. So, yeah. Box Elf, who doesn't live too far from me, like an hour, I'd say an hour away. It's sunny where she is, and it's going to get hot again. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I can't, you guys, like my lungs are real bad. I can't use anything strong scented on my face. It'll mess up my breathing, something fierce. But I do appreciate all of the comments. I really do. But back to crocheting. To say I'm a disappointment to my hippie mother is an understatement. It was because of me that she realized that her remedies didn't work for everybody, because historically they had worked for everybody. I can't take echinacea. It makes me heave, which was such a disappointment. And I needed like Ventolin and a nebulizer and all sorts of stuff growing up, which made her plans very, very, very different. So yeah, I can't, any sort of real strong smells start me coughing, and my asthma is bronchial asthma. And so once I start coughing, I can't stop coughing. So it's not fun. But I survive. I'm still here. Can't get rid of me that easily. Just sit there and inhale the coffee beans. Exactly right, Sally. Exactly right. Okay, I don't know how many I need. I just got to count. 1, 2, 3, 7. Okay, 7, 2, 4, 6. One more. I like these rows where it's got like heaps of like big triangle bits, and it just makes it lots of stuff. Someone's asked if Abby has the same allergies as me. None. She is allergic to ants, which I'm not allergic to ants. And that's it. So far, that's all we've found. So she's definitely got more of her dad's constitution, which I'm so relieved for. So yeah, no, she's a much healthier human being than I am, which is awesome. It's so awesome. Yeah. Oh, and dogs, Abby. Sorry, yes. Shedding dogs. So she doesn't react to Louie, but she used to react quite heavily to Snowy, and she reacts to my mum's dog as well. So, which is hilarious because Abby's training to be a vet nurse. So she'll just have to take antihistamines every day before work forever. But anyway, she's used to it now. She used to have to take them all the time for when we had Snowy. What about uncles? Is she allergic to them too? Possibly. I'm not sure. Game Winner says, I have coughing asthma too. Hubby says he can tell the difference in my coughs between a normal cough and an asthma cough. Yeah, there is a slight difference, but if a normal cough gets out of control, then it's not good. Yeah. It's not a fun sitch. It's not a fun sitch. I remember as a kid, my brother being in bed with garlic in his socks and was the only one who would go in and see him because of the smell. Oh, the things our parents did to us in the 70s, Nettie, you know, just like this has got to work, right? And what was shocking is quite often it did work. Like I thought, there's no way this is going to work. And I'm like going to mum and dad, like, why are we doing this? Why? I can't have this. I can't. Dad's like, just hold still. We're going to do a quick boya. I'm going to hold your feet. Mum's going to lather it on, and I'm going to pull your socks on so the socks don't have any bits on the outside. And I'm like, okay. And I'm thinking, you guys are weird. This is never going to work. Wake up the next morning feeling 1,000%. Just like, ugh, so annoying. The problem is I actually can't do it for myself because then I have Vicks on my hands. So, and then it's too close to my face, and I've got to be there to, anyway, it's very not good. It's very not good. Oh, John's posted that his dodgy cotton shopping bags into the fun zone. So that's awesome. Oh, Game Weirdo says that the good news is the tiny kitten that turned up on their doorstep has been claimed. That is brilliant as well. I love hearing tales of pets being reunited. I really do. Oh, Jen, that one's terrible. Oh. See, my dad will actually eat like 5 cloves of garlic. And he's like, that, you know, that helps. That helps. I'm like, really? Really does it? because I can't sit next to you or talk to you. Amelia, the gloves to apply the Vicks is a good idea, but I have very short arms, therefore my head is still close when I'm applying the Vicks to my feet. So we just don't do that anymore. So it's all good. I got other stuff now. I got other things that help. You guys are awesome with all your suggestions. Yes, Abby had lollipops when she was sick. We found this supplier of, they were like cough lollipops and like throat lollipops. And what they had was they were just like a little lollipop shaped lozenge, basically on a stick. And as long as a child sucked for, because all the sort of medicinal part of it was on the outside. So after they had that bit, the rest of it was just like a not too sweet treat. So yeah, it was awesome. Hello, Rebecca Nelson. Welcome to the chat. 1, 2, 3. So yeah, so now I'm like super paranoid about how much purple I'm using on each row. I'm like, oh, try not to crochet too tight. I mean, and that's the other thing to remember. Do you guys notice that when you're a bit tense, like stressed or tense, that you may need to actually work on a different project because it will change the tension of what you're doing? For me, I specifically notice it in my knit projects versus my crochet projects. So it's definitely more for knitting than crocheting for me. And so I used to find that I would have a separate project just to work on when I was like tense. But I'm only working on this project and my stabby project. Stabby project is helpful. Let me say that. All the Vic stories, you guys, are the worst. It is crazy. It is crazy. It was, funny story. Well, I think it's amusing. Yesterday, my husband goes, I think I broke the back sliding door. And I was like, righto. So I've pulled, it was the security door. So I pulled it off the runners and I've had a look at it, and it was just the actual runner. It was, I don't think it was him. I think it was just lifetime use. Anyway, it was one of those. So I sort of pulled the door apart, pulled out the slider, cleaned it up, and then I've grabbed some Vaseline because it's plastic on metal. You can't use oil for that. Anyway, my husband's like, where did this come from? I didn't even know we had any of this. And I'm like, we don't. Fiberific does. And he's like, why does Fiberific have Vaseline? And he was just giving me this hairy eyeball. And I was just like, because it's what I use on the Margicraft wheels. And then he's just standing there with the sliding door. It's like slide, slide, slide. This is working now. And I'm like, awesome. Glad to hear it. So that was fun. Box Elf, who is at home, has a question. What's with the fancy Fiberific logos on everyone's name, and how do we get one? Oh, hello, Lou. What have you got there? What do you have? Is it? Oh, that's your toy. That's it. Just checking he hasn't stolen some yarn or something, because that happens. Box Elf, if you scroll down to the chat, you'll see a word that says join, and everyone who has the little Fiberific logo has joined the membership here. And so it's up to you if you want to join or not, but that's how people are getting the logos. And depending on how long you've been a member for, your logo color just changes. It's automatic. You don't have to do it. So you can go and check that out. If you're on an iOS device, it's a pain in the butt. Jump onto your tablet, like onto your Samsung tablet or onto a laptop of some description. It makes it a lot easier. Jen Deal says angry crochets for face washes. Yes. I'm so glad I'm not the only one who needs like an angry craft or like a stress craft. Yes, definitely. Francis is here. I missed Francis's name. Did I? I didn't see Francis. I don't know. Looks like Francis is here. Anyway, yes, Sally, that's correct. For spinning wheels. For spinning wheels. Oh dear, we do have some words that we use very easily. They flow off the tongue, and then it's like somebody outside of the industry just looks at you like, Did you just say what I think you said? Gosh, it is definitely one of those things. I'm just having a look here in the chat, making sure my hands. So once we move away from these sort of yellows, excuse me, we'll be able to set the camera color back up properly because I'll fold the yellow out of the way and we'll get back to these colors, and the camera doesn't play up so much and go quite so sort of it puts a blue hue on everything, and I've kind of got to choose between bluish or sunburn. But once we move these yellows, they're just too bright for the camera, and it's just a little webcam, you know. It's not a proper camera. It can't deal. It's like the colors are so bright, I can't cope. So we just be grateful it works at all. And because I don't understand why, because this webcam over here, it's older and smaller and not as good technically, and it picks up the colors beautifully. Now, in saying that, it's much further as a thing, whereas this one's quite close. So yeah, that could be the difference. Maybe I should move that one further away. I don't know. We'll see. Not today. 1, 2, 3. Let me look here in the chat while we keep crocheting. It sounds like, yeah, of course I'm in spinning wheels. Jen says it's usually why I have more than one project going, one for angry and one for okay, I feel good. John says, I think I'll crochet a face washer while I'm sitting here with this leftover cotton that's left over from my project to use up the leftover cotton that you had to go out and buy more cotton for so that you could finish the project, John. I laugh because I've done exactly the same thing. That's the only reason I'm laughing, John, is because I've done the exact same thing. Kathy says, I was so happy to see that my local tech college in my area is having a knitting class. Such a great thing to teach. I hope it gets heaps of students. I hope it gets lots of students too. I really do. Because it's a fun skill, and it's an awesome skill to teach people who are studying, because it actually helps you to remember information. There's so many amazing European studies about knitting and crocheting and listening, and they're just really showing that your brain's so much more active and it retains so much more data. And so I'm always like blown away when those people who don't understand have a go at knitters because they think they're not concentrating. Now, obviously, if you're working on a very technical project, like, you know, some hardcore lace, it might not be quite as good an effort. But if you're just knitting something basic that's just like easily memorizable and your hands are doing all the work, then your brain is firing on all cylinders and you can remember so much more of what you're learning than if you just sat there fidgeting. So I think some lecturers and what have you need to read some studies myself and have a little look at some of these things. Rebecca Nelson is working on her tam. That is a kind of hat for those of us that don't use tam as an everyday. Game Widow says, I swear my kiddo's massive improvement in maths is because she was knitting during remote learning class. Abby, you got to stop giving away all my parenting secrets. I mean, it's true, because she wouldn't take kids' Panadol, so I would make her a slightly strong cordial and just put the Panadol in it, and then she'd drink it, no hassles, after she'd been screaming for an hour, refusing to have it. So, you know, I'll tell the whole story, Abby, not just the parental abuse sections. We'll get into it. John says, I could knit without looking, but I can't crochet without looking. I think the difference is the stitches on the needle versus stabbing blind with the hook. John, I'm the same. I do definitely prefer to keep an eye on where my hands are going. There are some things that are easier than others. Like if I'm doing like a granny stitch blanket, once I get started, I'm okay. I don't need to look so much because I can kind of feel like, hey, that's the gap, that's going in there. Whereas with sort of more intricate crochet, it doesn't work. But yeah, with knitting, it's on the needle. It's absolutely on the needle. Ali says, I'm the opposite of John. I can crochet without looking, but not knitting. I think it's whatever we're the most used to. Yeah, for me, it depends on the degree of difficulty. I can do it on both, depending on the degree of difficulty. Does anyone have a good YouTube video for fixing a lot of dropped stitches? Fixing crochet is much easier. It's not on YouTube. There is a phenomenal Craftsy class that Laura Nelkin did called Fix My Stitches. If you don't buy any other Craftsy class, buy that one. She shows the most phenomenal ways to fix your knitting in all different things, just comfortable and confidently, so that you're not feeling overwhelmed. And I just found it to be an amazing class. So it's called Fix My Stitches, and it was on Craftsy. I don't know if it's still there, with all the big shuffle up and changes when Blueprint was sold and it became Craftsy again. But yeah, Fix My Stitches by Laura Nelkin. It was a phenomenal class. I find Laura to be an excellent teacher as well, generally speaking. So I love her lace. She's very creative lace knitter. Fixing crochet. I find fixing crochet means you've got to pull everything out and just go back to the stitch that you stuffed up and fix it, right? Whereas with knitting, you can find a problem that you made 10 rows down and just ladder down, fix it, and ladder back up. You don't have to pull everything apart. But it also depends on how comfortable and confident you are in doing that. So, John really doesn't like this cotton. I'm going to Tunisian up a cast iron pan scrubber instead of a face washer. Perfect use for this cotton, scorched and burnt in hot pans. Oh, Gamer Widows, I have no idea. I am not the person to help. But if anyone's got any suggestions, are you just talking about for storage, or are you talking about like being able to have it set up? Because for storage, hooks on a wall, get it up and off the floor and off the benches. But to be able to use it, no idea. It is the perfect revenge, isn't it? Oh, gosh. Holly's got a suggestion here. Roxanne Richardson has a great knitting channel and has lots of videos on how to fix your knitting. That's awesome. So Roxanne Richardson. A nice spell from Harry Potter. I mean, I would like that. I would use a Harry Potter spell to finish the Queen, so that when I came back in, I'd be on to the next color. I'd still want to do some of each color, just not all of it. Oh, dear. Dun, 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 dun. I'm surprised you guys can't hear it, but the compressors on the trucks that are outside is doing that low rumble thing. It's actually upsetting my tummy, like just the pulsing. But I'm going to comment but not complain, because they are cleaning up the disgustingness. I don't know how. I still wouldn't walk on the grass because I don't know how they can fix that. But they're fixing up all the paths and everything. So that would be so nice. I just want to be able to open the windows or put the air conditioner on in our bedroom on a hot night, honestly. Last night was so muggy and hot. Yeah, make sure that your wand doesn't have masking tape on it. I'm going to assume that's masking tape. We're nearly at the end of a row. Just keep going, Chantel. We can do this. We can finish this Queen. You guys can help me get through and get it done, and remind me never to start such a big project ever again. Box Elf is off. Her reception is going in and out. I was so happy to see your face in the stream today, Tammy. We will catch up again for sure when you're feeling better. Yeah, I've only got coins. Oh, excuse me. I've only got coins that you could take there, Lisby. No notes. dun, 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 dun. The neighbour's car's doing its start-up morning routine too. The class on Craftsy was called Fix My Stitches. Oh gosh, Jen, go, please. We sure miss the creature comforts when we lose them, don't we ever, Leanne? You did very well coping without power and water during the flood. I think Abby was very happy to have a shower in her own bathroom tonight. The ensuite in our bedroom is a bit dingy, and she's been having to use that, and she doesn't like the shower head, which I don't blame her because I don't like the shower head. So I think she'll be very happy to use her own. Rebecca says, I had to start the TAM about 4 times before I finally got it. Yeah, I totally understand that. Jennifer Pierce off as well. Bye, Jennifer. Good to see you. There you go. That one there. You did. You didn't want to use the ensuite shower. You refused. You do not. I'm an argument with my daughter. You just block Abby. Yarn Dragon, hello. It's been so long since seeing you. Now, I was trying to organize a time slot where we could try a nighttime for me live stream to fit in some of the other time zones. And we were going to do it earlier this week, but this week just turned into a nightmare. So I just didn't. Hopefully next week or the week after, when everything's a bit more stable and settled here, I'll definitely be trying out a night for some live streaming shenanigans. And we'll see how that goes. It's popping in for an hour at a different time. It'll just be a 1 hour. It won't be 2. So yeah. Jen says, we'll be lurking for a few. It's gone up 20 cents in a day now. Going to go up again. Yeah, our fuel here has gone up crazy amounts. So yeah. It's just a case of grab it when you can grab it, and yeah. Yeah, time gets confusing, doesn't it? Definitely does, or at least it does for me. So, you know when it's like I feel like something just walked over my foot. I've got to look. It was nothing. It was nothing. It was my brain. Because of the floodwaters, I've noticed a lot more spiders and things, and so I'm like extra like panicky about them. Ali says, I just sold my car because petrol is too expensive. It's so expensive here at the moment. Jackie says it was $2 up per litre here. So is it 4.5 litres to a gallon that is that the approximate rate? I think it's at least 4 litres to a gallon. So we're currently paying, or Jackie's currently paying sort of $8 something. John, I do the same thing. I just ask Google all the time. Whoops. Google lit up. But yeah, I do the same. I just check. Bye, Abby. She's probably got to log into her next class. So Abby's school is giving students the option to, if they're unable to attend school during the floods, that they can log in to online classrooms. It's not ideal, but it is definitely better than missing part of her final year of high school's education. So, yeah. I think we'll be back tomorrow, though, because if they clean the driveway, it means that we can leave. And with the roads opening back up, I think we have a direct route to her school again. I have to check. I think we have a route. Linda says, one of the times where I'm happy to have an electric car despite the car loan on it. I think Australia has got a lot to learn. Electric cars in Australia are considered luxury vehicles. and therefore they are taxed so hard. So getting a luxury vehicle here in Australia, so an electric car, is just so expensive. But at the moment, everyone with electric cars are so happy. I'm like, maybe we should have tried to get one. We'll see. 3.78 liters to a US liquid gallon. Thank you. I thought it was around that 4-liter mark for some reason. But anyway, whatever it is, we're paying an absolute fortune for fuel. Yeah. John says $8.51 a gallon, and it's currently converting to sort of $6 a litre US, $6 a gallon US. Yeah. So I think last time I looked, I don't know what it is at the moment, but last time I looked, we were paying about $1.90 a litre for standard fuel. That's not the good fuel, that's the standard fuel. Hang on, I'm at the end. I've got to read my instructions. So it is that one, then 3, then that, then 2, then 1. We've made it to the end of a row, you guys. So excited. Yeah, charging stations in Australia are hard to come by. So you've got to keep it charged at home and just hope that you're traveling to somewhere that either has one or, oops, I had scissors. I know I had scissors. There they are. We did a row. Woot, woot. Okay, back to the start. One thing I do like about this project is I'm not having to flip it to work backwards and front. I just sort of, bring it back to the start, which is great. John, see, that's the problem as well. Electric car wouldn't do him any good. Lives in an apartment with no garage or driveway. That's insane. Alrighty, moving on to the next row. We've got 1, 2, 3 more rows of yellow. Fingers crossed. I think we should make it. I think. Yes. Alrighty, where is the yellow end? Are you the end I want? No, this is the end I want. Alrighty. Ali says that we have charging stations at the shopping centres here and at the Coles down the road. There's some charging stations at my big local shopping centre, like the real big one, but not at any of my standard drop in and grab groceries ones. Like, yeah, I don't know if that makes sense. What have I done? Hang on a second. I am jumping through the loops too fast. So there, goes like that, and then I grab both and draw it through. Okay, tighten them off. I'm just going to check the bomb, which is Bureau of Meteorology. I just heard like a big and I think it's thunder. So I just want to have a little look. Bomb.gov.au. Check the radar. Oh, okay. All right. Actually, it's going around us. That's okay. I can live with that. Basically, people on the Sunshine Coast, however, north side Sunshine Coast, watch out. Is it coming around? No, it's just going out to sea, so that's good too. All right. Awesome. Excellent. Why did that ping? So, yeah. I thought I put that on silence, but it pinged. Sorry, guys. Just having a quick read through here. Oh, is that one not there anymore? I know a lot of designers required the new people to, the new owners to remove some of their products because there was a change in how things were done, and it was not for the better for the most part for the really old classes. That's a shame. Well, I'm glad that that Lisby and Net are sorting it out. I dropped my car overnight at the Subaru dealership for services, and they have charging stations at the dealership. They don't even sell electric cars yet. Well, I mean, they're obviously forward thinking. Oh, Joss just did the same. You checked the bomb as well. We're pretty lucky where we are, Joss. We're supposed to get ice and snow this weekend here in Minnesota. Oh, gosh. Leanne says there is rolling thunder here at the moment, but the sun was shining. I can only see out one window, but it doesn't look like the sun's shining here. Alrighty, I'm just moving my little graph because it's a new day. It's a new chart. No, we're not onto a new chart. I would love to be onto a new chart. Not onto a new chart. I'm currently still on chart 3. Whose idea was it to make such a big blanket? Also as a reminder to everybody, this is my very first mosaic crochet project. Sorry, brain was trying to give me a different word and it was wrong. Yes, that I did the little tester piece that she recommended just to double check that I wasn't going to go insane. But this is the first actual project. I don't know why I thought it was such a good idea to make such a ginormous blanket. Anyway, won't be doing that again. Definitely next time I'll be like, oh, what is the smallest that I may do? I shall do that one. I may have some chance at finishing during the cowl. Righty. We are now in the midsection. So that and there. And 2 of these. I'm just catching up on this row, and then I'll jump up and check out the chat. John says, I look out the Freaky says, I look out the window. It's dark as midnight, but it's only 8 p.m. Gosh. I confirm North Brisbane is in for thundery storm fun. Yes, it is not looking good. Friend of mine says they live on the Sunshine Coast, and she says they're being hammered. Yeah, but like the advantage for them, like, and this sounds a bit harsh, okay, but the advantage for the Sunshine Coast is while they got some rain over the weekend, they didn't actually flood, which is, so if anyone's going to get a bit of extra rain now, I think it would be nice if it wasn't us. Like, sorry, Sunshine Coast residents, I'm sorry, but yeah. Jen's back. Did you get the good fuel, Jen? That was fast. The fuel must be nearby. If you are interested in the Queen Cowl, Sally has found the link for you, so you can go and check out the pattern and grab it for yourself. Start with the smaller one. I'm doing the traditional Queen with extra repeats using worsted weight yarn. So mine is a lot bigger. I don't recommend, although it's going to be amazing on my bed. It's going to be totes amazing. I keep telling myself this. Totes amazing. We both know that won't happen. You'll pick the biggest again. Stop it. 2, 4, 6, 7. I mean, just because we know it's true doesn't mean we have to say it, Gamer Widows. Oh, my goodness. Oh, someone touched the gates. Someone touched the gates. Alrighty, let me just double check that I've done the right thing, because I kind of was thinking about something and not doing what I should have been doing. Nope, it's all good. Okay, sit down. We know Dad's out there. Louis, sit down. Oi, sit down. Sit. He's just standing there barking at the closed door. He can hear. They're all talking just outside the shed, so he can hear them. Are you going to put a backing on it? No, I am not. No, this blanket doesn't have a backing. This is just how the back looks. So, yeah. I made mine a little wider and a little longer than the pattern to fit my daughter's bed. Was that for the single, or the sort of the yeah, which pattern did you base that off? Which size? Fuel is just around the corner. It was $38 for half a tank. Ugh. Oh my goodness. I put in 3/4 of a tank. It would have been just over a week ago, and that was $74, I think. Yeah. Lisby says, I like the back of the Queens too. I think they're really interesting. And because they're not too, like, they've got some little, I call them gills, but they're not too big. They're the biggest is sort of like what I'm like these ones here. And they sort of flip open a little, but it's not too bad. And if I was to use this, I would have a sheet on my bed so it wouldn't be toes getting caught in it or anything. So, you know, there's that. Sally has a different word. Ali was saying the back is beautiful too. That's why I was curious. Yeah, no, I don't tend to back my crochet and knitted blankets. It's kind of part of their charm is that they're so squishy, and the second you back them, you lose some of that squish, I think. John calls them gills as well. Yeah, gills. They remind me of gills. I know not everybody calls them gills. I taught a crochet cables workshop a few years back, and I sort of started calling them gills back then, because with crochet cables you do have this sort of thing as well. Sometimes worse, to be honest. So yeah, I kind of started calling it gills back then. If you wear socks or slippers in bed, then you have no toes getting caught in things. That's true, but I don't wear socks or slippers to bed, because this is Australia, and even in winter, our winters are not that cold, at least up here in Queensland. In Queensland, this is technically a subtropical climate, and so therefore even our winters are amusing to some people. Our overnights in winter here are normally around sort of 4 to 6 degrees in like the coldest part of the winter. And then our days, if it's a sunny day, which it usually is around 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. I only know Celsius, guys. Sorry. Jen Deal calls them gills. Absolutely. We do get down to single digits. We do, yeah. That's cold enough. If I wanted it colder, I'd live somewhere else. I 100% agree. Yeah. Yes. I'm like, because I've been crocheting on the couch and not talking, I've got to keep reminding myself that I can't just stare at it and work on it. It's like, you must remember to read the chat and talk to people and not just work on your blanket. So how's everybody else's projects going? Are you guys getting lots done? I know Sally doesn't get much done because she's doing the Mod Queen thing, which I think is fantastic. I had a really interesting comment come up on one of my videos today, which complained about the fact that I was breathing loud. I was just like, oh, sorry. I didn't reply. I just deleted the comment because it was rude. But yeah, I was just like, really? That was your takeaway, was it? I moved from the Sunshine Coast to Adelaide, and so far the winter has been quite bearable. Yeah, the Sunshine Coast winters aren't all that cold. So, man, I'm trying to move to the Sunshine Coast. It's been my goal for about the last 10 years. My my husband's not keen on the plan because he works down here. He needs to be close to the south side of Brisbane. So, yeah. John says 9C is 48F. If it were 48 outside right now, I'd be wearing shorts. Yeah. How dare you breathe? Well, I get it because it was one of my really old videos where I was still learning how to set things up, and the microphone probably was a little close, and I do have breathing problems, so you can hear me breathe, but I just thought it was a bit rude. Also, she put swear words in, so I just deleted it. You can bugger off. If you can't say something nice, then go away, is my view. Angela is working on her wagon wheel Afghan. So glad she found the pattern again. I know those feelings, Angela. I've got a shawl that I absolutely love the look of, right? But I know I'm not quite finished. And it's with this hand-spun yarn that I did, and I love it, but I've lost the pattern. I've got to work out where I'm up to again, and I'm just like, oh, my God, this is going to be so painful. Yarn Dragon says, I haven't worked on anything since August. I think it might have been longer. Sometimes we have other things in our life that just have to take precedence. Yarn Dragons, like everyone here in the chat knows that one of the reasons this blanket's taking so long is I only get to work on it during the live streams. Just because A, it's just too hot to have it on my legs in the house, and B, I don't feel like I get enough good craft time to be able to just sit and work on it. I also don't like to start a row on this if I can't finish it. It makes it really hard to cart around and store if it's got yarn attached to it. Linda says, I finished my UV reactive rainbow shawl that I posted last week. It needs the ends woven in though, and that's not happening until Saturday. Yeah, got to get those ends in. Rebecca says that I have finished, almost done with chart 1, chart 2 and 3 still to go. Sue says, not really crafting, but just clean the goldfish tank. Hey, it's got to get done. I've got a fish tank, and it's really hard to clean. But I try and get in and tidy it up every now and again. Abby's goldfish, well, they're not goldfish, they're mollies and tetras, but, you know, I feed them, therefore I make it so that they make the tank dirty. So therefore I have to clean it, apparently. Convince my nieces to buy your yarn. She loves it. That is awesome. Freaky, that's right. It was an unusual thing that happened. But I did. I got 5 rows done outside of live stream. So proud of myself. So proud of myself. Yeah, I'm just going to check something here. Oh, I lost the chart. Bring the chart back. There we go. All right. I used to have Dalmatian mollies. My Molly loved them. I bet. Do you know who really loves our I call them they're not goldfish. Who loves our fish probably the most is Louis. He sits with his little paws over the edge of the couch and just sits there staring at them flitting around the fish tank. I don't know what he's thinking, but he probably watches the fish the most out of everybody in our household. It's so bizarre. No, not Tibbles. I know. Tibbles is mean. And he actually, the only time he cares about the fish tank is if he wants to get to the bookshelf, and he literally steps off the couch, uses the fish tank to push himself, and it shakes the whole tank, and everyone is upset. Does a jumbo bobbin fit the standard Margicraft gem flyer? No, it does not. You need a applying flyer for that. So the message I've got is my brother would like me to help out with something, and I don't think he's caught the news that we're flooded in. So I'm not quite sure what we can do to help him. Mel says our cats used to exclusively drink from the goldfish bowl. I lived in a flat a share house in Sydney, and one of the girls had cats and one of the girls had goldfish, and we would there are 3 cats, all siblings, so they're all the same color, sitting around the goldfish bowl, taking turns drinking out of the goldfish bowl. And we're like, you got to top it up, because if they let it get too low, they're going to be able to get to the fish. I think that's what they were doing. I think they were trying to lower the water level. She's already finished a project. Apparently, I have to stop convincing her to buy yarn. Oh my gosh. Linda says, I used to have a Siamese fighter fish. The cat stopped drinking out of that tank surprisingly fast. The fish bit her tongue. Oh, that would have been amazing to see. Oh, just a confused look on a cat's face would have been just gold. Would have been gold. Hey, Ruth, how you going? Oh, hang on. Only one there. No, only 2 there. Goodness me, I'm all distracted now. Are they going to send the Mud Army out your way? I'm not sure. I mean, we don't need the Mud Army at our house, but I really do hope the Mud Army ends up down in Logan. There's going to be so many people who need help, like so badly. For those of you that don't know what the Mud Army is, after the 2011 floods here in Brisbane, they made a way so that people who wanted to volunteer could volunteer and get taken to where they needed to be. So you actually register online and meet at a muster point. You just bring gloves and whatever tools you can hold in your hand, like a shovel or whatever. And then buses will just take you to streets that just need help. And they had, so far, I think there's 10,000 people that have signed up to be in the Volunteer Mud Army 2.0. So I hope that, I mean, I'm sure people who need the help will get the help. That's what happened last time. And it worked really, really well. Angela says, I have to go tomorrow to get more yarn for my Afghan I'm working on. Oh, noes. Sarcasm. I try to, like, if I'm making a big project like this, I do try to buy all the yarn I need for it at once, just so I don't have to stuff around with like color things. But color batch lots. Gosh, my brain just totally fried on me then. Batch lot numbers. But sometimes you've just got to do what you got to do, right? John says, my tank was the length of the back of my couch and stood behind the couch. And my ex's cats would just sit on the back of the couch and watch. That's cool. That's kind of cool. I don't mind cats watching the fish, but I don't know about them eating the fish. Yeah, the Mud Army is a fantastic idea, and it really is like a big, huge like community spirit event. It's just dialots. Yes, sorry, Freaky. Dialot numbers, batch lots, dialots. Yeah, they're the same. But yeah. It was the 3 kids that proved fatal to the fish. Excuse me. Excuse me. I need some water. You're right. Where's he gone? He's back over there. You put a stick up on the chair. You big Gumby. Just making sure my brain is working. I'm glad yours is working because mine definitely is not. So we will have to wait and see. Righty. Just trying to make sure I'm doing the right thing here. Oh, I can hear lots of noise happening out there. I don't know if they're finished or not. I mean, they've been going for an hour and a half. My daughter Sarah was in the Mud Army in 2011. When she was there on her way home again, she called into Macca's for something to eat and got weird looks. I bet she did. Covered from head to toe in flood mud. Vicky Corrigan, welcome to the chat. Rebecca says after she's finished her tam, then comes the slippers. She needs a new pair. Absolutely. Slippers wear out when they're well loved. Oh, I need to do this. And 2 there. Correct, Chantel, correct. Was going to get Tim Tams from the store 2 days ago. They were all out or hidden behind other cookies. I mean, that happens. That happens. We got some mint slice. Actually, do you know what? We're in the trial area for wing delivery. So the other day, Abby was like, we need to pick me up. And I'm just like, do we? And she was like, yes. She goes, so I've ordered a drone delivery. And so we got wing drone delivery of a packet of Tim Tams. So it felt a little crazy, but also I think she was right. We needed something to take our mind off everything for just a few minutes. So, and also Louis loves the wing deliveries. We actually have to put him on his lead when they come because he tries to grab the parcel as it's being lowered before the drone releases the hook. So he's tugged on it like a fishing line a couple of times. So we have to keep him back when the drone deliveries come. So yeah, but it is also kind of funny. Ali wants drone delivery. Drone delivery is so much fun. I mean, we've actually really relied on drone delivery like over this time because, you know, if we need milk or something like that, we couldn't get out, couldn't get to anywhere that had milk. So we just get a drone to deliver us a liter of milk. Thanks, drone. Rebecca still has not had a Tim Tam yet. Well, Rebecca, we just have to sort that out. Angela misses Tim Tams. Yeah. We try not to get them too often. If they bring out a new flavor, I like to try some of those. Not all of them. I'm not a big dark chocolate fan, so I tend to skip all the dark chocolate ones. Ruth is having to make another blanket for great-granddaughter. Linda says, I'm looking forward to drone deliveries just for the uniqueness of it. It's fun, honestly. I mean, where we are, we've got a really limited service. We've got some friends who live in a different suburb, and they can get like sushi delivered and like all sorts of stuff delivered. So Lisby says, I got TV snacks the other day. They've made them smaller. I'm devastated. Oh, really? I haven't bought TV snacks in years. Well, now I know to keep an eye on that next time. Be prepared for it. What am I doing here? Oh, have I botched something up? Like on an entire repeat and not even realised it. Oh no, look at this. Look at this. I've missed the crossover. It's basically all of the ones I did. How did I not pick that up? Oh my goodness. Luckily it's towards the end and I can just pull them all back to here to fix it. But oh my goodness. How did I not notice that I wasn't kicking that leg back in? Oh. Oh. Yeah, Nikki, I had Tim bought a little thing of wagon wheels, like the biscuits, and they are much smaller and they felt grainy. Like I did not enjoy them. I mean, we still ate the packet, but I wouldn't buy them again. Gosh, yeah, I agree. Wagon wheels are yuck now. I can't, Francis. I've seen it now. I can't not fix it. It is an easy fix. I've just got to pull, like, luckily, I've just got to pull all of these rows back. All of these rows back a bit. I'm very sad. All right, I'm going to pull this one back to there, just so it's out of the way. Oh, no, everybody, we're not going to bodge it up. There's no bodging. If we're making a blanket this size and we can fix it, and I know how to fix it, we fix it, because my brain will not let me not fix it. And I will constantly see the mistake. So I've got to pull back a few rows. So, but only like this much of each of the rows, okay? So I don't have to pull back entire rows or anything, because we do this on the end. It's only pulling it back to here, okay? Mind you, I can't see to undo the knot. I think I need something to help me. I've got to grab something finer. I'm just going to grab a knitting needle. I'll be back in a second. Louie, you're in charge of the stream. He's like, I'm leaving too, Mummy. How's a knitting needle? Okay. Alrighty. Yeah, Linda, exactly right. This is where knitting would be easier. You would just drop the stitches down. There we go. Okay, first row to come back. I need to come back to there. Big loop. Next row. Oh my goodness, you guys. But do you not have enough purple for that one row? Yeah, I've got enough purple for a few more rows. But I'm still fixing it. Because we only have to pull back that many stitches. Because I am a donkey. I hope I have enough of the yarn on the ends. Is probably more the issue. some would call it a design element. Some would. Some would. For me, I know it's a mistake. It's a fairly easy mistake to fix. So I kind of got to fix it. Kind of got to fix it. Because there, I might need to pull all these just one more stitch back. Okay. I have to work out which row I'm on. Come on, little knot. Out you come, you little booger. There we go. Good. Jen says, my first Montana, I had to pull out 10 rows in the last bit. 3 hours of work ripped out in 5 minutes. It's a bit like that, isn't it, Jen? You're kind of just like, oh, really? Really? Do I have to rip it out? But luckily, it is only this short bit, okay? And I'm repeating this for myself, like, oh, I can't believe I'm having to pull all this out and fix it. I just don't understand how I didn't notice it before now. Okay. Is it this row? I think it's this row. How much? I've got a little bit on the end, so hopefully there's enough to do the repair. I think it's this row. Oh, stitch markers. Yeah, it is. It's everything I worked on inside, which, you know, makes me sad. I'll move that one down a row. Okay. Alrighty. Let me just double check the pattern. So we have pulled out around that row. So 1, 2, 3. I've got to work out where I'm at. All right. So bear with me, guys. I'm sorry. I once remade a shrug 4 times as I was making up the pattern as I went. I didn't like the fit. Yeah, sometimes you just got to do it right. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. We'll see. Fingers are crossed. Okay. All right, so it's the row after the 3. So it's this row here. Okay. All righty. So 1 space 1. I'm going to move that down. So you guys remember I'm on row 121. That would be great. So yeah, the row, there's the 3 in the middle. All right. 1 space. That one. Then 1, 2, 3. Hang on a second. This doesn't feel right. Hang on. I think I've read the wrong section of the pattern. I'm just, thank you. Thank goodness you found it. Everyone's putting 121 into the chat. Awesome. You guys are brilliant. Okay. another blue row. Oh, I don't know if I can fix this on camera, you guys. My brain's really not helping me. One space. And then that one. Okay. Then 1, 2, and 3. Nope. I see the problem. I've got a problem here too. It's wrong. Okay, I've got to go back another 2 rows. Okay. That's why it wasn't working. It's okay to chat and fix later. Yeah. I think I might do that. But yeah, I worked out what the problem was. I'm like, why won't it work? And it's because I have to pull out further. All right. And then one more. And what I might do is after I pull this row out, I've got to bring these down. Hang on. So I stuffed this up before I started working on it inside. So I don't. Does that make me feel better? No. No, definitely not make me feel better. But I'll get it pulled out and then we'll continue on chatting. And I'll make sure I post some photos in the fun zone once it's all fixed up so that you guys know it's done. I'll go inside, check on how everything's going, and then I'll come back out and finish this. I don't like leaving loose yarn, if that makes sense. Okay. 1, 2. Okay. All right. That's good there. All righty. We can fix this row. We can fix this row. Wait, stop. What's wrong, John? Yeah, I'm still on. I'm down to. I still. This row here was 121. So yeah. So where's the thing? Down to the 3. That row there. Is that right? I don't even know. I'm going to wait. I'll leave that like it is with all its little loose legs. And we will switch to this camera and I will not touch it and I'll have a drink. So you guys have been telling me all the amazing things that you guys have done wrong on a project. I wonder how much I'm going to have to pull out. The more I look at it, I'm like, do I need to pull back another row? I don't think so. I think this looks right now. Do it off camera so you can concentrate. Absolutely. She found another mistake, she thinks. Yes. Yeah, or not so much another mistake, but it was actually the next purple row back. So I had to pull back the orange and then the purple. I think we're good now. I mean, it all looks the same now. I think. I'll try not to touch it. Oh my goodness. It sounds like the truck's just left. So I'm very curious to see what outside looks like. See if we can, I don't know, leave the yard. I'll have to find out from Tim what the go is. He will know. But I'm very excited that we may not be able to leave the area yet, but we could leave the yard. And that's nice too, because that means we could go and get our own milk if we want. We're not trapped here. You're better than good. You're amazing. Thanks. Don't overthink it. Trying to not to overthink it, but I'm like, oh my god, I cannot believe that I botched that up. Anyway, but yeah, so hopefully this means we can now leave the yard. I do know that some people in the area, depending on exactly which streets they're on, they're able to sort of make their way to the highway. But a trip that would usually take 10 minutes from like Bethania to the highway, that doesn't even include the backlog traffic on the highway. This is just to the highway. So a 5 to 10 minute trip was taking 2 hours. And yeah, it was, and like with the cost of fuel right now, that is just insanity. That's just insanity. So we have to sort of work out where we can move to. I'm not sure if we can get to Abby's school yet. I know Tim can't get to work yet. That's not the Logan motorway, that's the M1. So yeah, it's the M1 on the south side is a bit of a mess at the moment. But I'm hearing that the actual M1 itself did not get flood damage. It's just trying to get access to the M1 is the problem. And then people getting to the exits and realizing that exit's blocked off and then having to keep going and find their ways back and things like that. So yeah, it's definitely a little bit crazy right now. Oh, Leanne, my fingers are so crossed that it's so much better. And like, what I would love to be able to open my bedroom window and breathe, you know, not that smell. So it's definitely one of those things. Ali's written the M1 is new enough, I guess, to only get minimal damage. Well, the M1 they built up high enough to try, and there were sections of it underwater for sure down near Yatla, I think, or it might have been the exits that were underwater. But yeah, and that's the thing, like the actual M1 might be fine, but the on and off ramps aren't. So I have to work out exactly where I can travel to. I don't think I can travel much out of this area in a timely manner. So I could get from here to like Woolies, okay, like grocery shop. That would work. Oh, Sally, are you on it? I know Sally's on it. Good job. No, Leanne was on it. Go, Leanne. Woot woot. Ali says, so I can't visit yet. Not yet. Not yet. Time to invest in a boat. Do you know what? People with like little flat bottom boats were the lifeblood of some of these communities that were out and about. It was just there's people that are totally isolated and trapped. So their house may not be flooded, but all the roads around them are. So they cannot get out. And it's just an absolute mess. And so people with little flat bottom boats, like little dinghies, would, you know, drive over people's, like, you know, the waters are so high, they're just going straight over fence lines. And then just pulling up on a little stretch of grass and handing out bags of groceries. And it's watching people's hearts and like people in the community doing these things is just been probably why I've been such in the news spiral. But yeah, and the other one is people on like kayaks getting around. I saw photos of the sharks in the golf course. I don't know if that's from this flood though. I thought that was from the last one. And that it's just making the rounds again. I'm not sure. I mean, it could totally be right. So yeah, Leanne, thank you for grabbing those. That was awesome. Sally said, Leanne hit it, and then I unhit it, and then hit it again. Oh, yeah, it happens. It absolutely happens. I mod with some other people on another channel, and this poor person, they were just being timed out, but because they got timed out by 5 different moderators all at the same time. Instead of being timed out for 5 minutes, they were timed out for like 25 minutes because it adds on. It's not just one 5-minute timeout. Josh says the shark at the golf course is an old one. I've got family who live in Lismore, like Tim's brother and his wife and their kids. They live in Lismore, and Lismore is just a couple of hours south of us here, and they have just gone through the largest flood ever in recorded history in their area. Like I think their business is gone. It went they work in have a pub, and it went up over the second floor, and they'd been able to move a lot of stuff to the second floor, but it didn't matter because the water went into the second floor. So yeah, Melissa's saying she's got thunder at her place. So yeah, Sally says, I looked away for 2 seconds. They knew you looked away. That's what it was. They weren't prepared for Leanne though. Bam, bam, get them with their hammer. She did. Yeah, Game Winner says, I like the house with the neighborhood camped out on the veranda, plus a calf that they pulled out of. Some of the cow stories have been hilarious. Like there was a cow that is on a 2nd-story roof because the floodwaters rise so high that the cow was able to float up to the roof and then was able to scramble and climb onto the roof. So now they've got to try and get a cow off someone's roof as the floodwaters go down. Another one was a cow got caught in a river and ended up on a beach. So now there was a cow on a beach down in the Gold Coast. It's just so insane. There's just so many crazy stories. And apparently the cow from the beach had actually traveled 150 kilometers because cows are apparently quite strong swimmers. So they're probably more likely out of a lot of the livestock to survive a big, long swim. Francis says we're getting lots of rain here in Sydney, but the worst flooding is Western Sydney, so I'm okay. Just not looking forward to going out to work this afternoon. We had such mixed messaging here in Brisbane. We were told this is not going to be as bad as the last floods. It's not. You don't need to get, you don't need to worry. You don't need to worry. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, we got text messages at like crazy o'clock at night. Like unless you're me, you're in bed asleep saying imminent flood, prepare for, evacuation kind of thing. So we're just like, this is just crazy talk. Like 1 minute everyone's going to be okay, and then the next minute they're not. So people who would normally have done more to prepare for a flood were told not to, like, don't worry about it, it's not coming, and then it hit. So I don't even know what to believe anymore. Honestly, it's just like, oh God, whenever it rains really heavy. We had ridiculous amount of rain. We had 1,000 millimeters. So 1,000 millimeters of rain in about a 3-day period in my region, which is apparently our annual rainfall in the subtropics here. Insane amount of water. Like something was going to happen, but like the Weather Bureau cannot guess how much rain. They can guess it's going to be a big event or a long event, or it's not going to move very fast, but they don't know exactly how many mils of rain is going to fall. And it was just like, it's so insane. And now it's moving down the coast. So it hit here in southeast of Queensland. It's Lismore is still going through what it is. It's creeping down the coast. The weather pattern that preceded the flooding is now hitting Sydney. I just hope it doesn't flood in Sydney the way it flooded here, because it's just, I don't wish that on anybody, honestly. Chintamani hasn't hit the nail on the head, but that's weather for you. It can change so fast that they can't predict what will happen. Exactly right. Also a good point. Always be prepared, then you're not caught unprepared. Nettie says it was 80% of our year's worth of rain, like where you are, Nettie, because here in Logan we've been told in the 3 days it was 100% of ours. But either way, it's a huge amount of rain in a very short amount of time. Bob says, up here, the cows get eaten by crocs. Oh, gosh. Freaky says, always be prepared no matter what. That way you have provisions and escape routes. So we've got like a little, I've got like a little pile of stuff. that is just like the second it starts getting like really, really heavy rain, like it's going to be prolonged. I'm like, that can go in this crate, that goes here. We've got like, we keep the pet carriers, like they're normally up in the shed, but the second it starts raining, we move them to the house so that we can put the dog in a carrier, the cat in a carrier. We've got a crate with all their food and their water bowls, and some extra towels so that we don't have to get them out of their crates to toilet them if we can't. Because a lot of the evacuation shelters don't let you bring your pets unless they're crated. So if you do have to evacuate, you've got to make sure your pets are in a crate. So unfortunately, the fish would have to fend for themselves. I would leave the fish. Sorry, fish, not as emotionally attached. Leanne's got the right of it. Please stay safe and take no chances. Francis says that we've had some interesting chats with the kids about what to take if there's an emergency. Yeah, it's a tough one. When Abby was younger, so Abby's 16 now, about to turn 17, but 16 now. For the 2011 floods, Tim was working away, so it was just me and Abby. So I was getting, because at that stage I didn't know if this place flooded or not. And there was a lot of water around, so I was getting everything up, and Abby packed a little backpack of a couple of the toys that she just loved to pieces, which she still has now, and a couple of outfits of clothes, and a pair of like lots of socks, lots of undies, that sort of thing. And she had her little runners and some gumboots, and that was it. So, but that's all and I had the crate of like all our paperwork, birth certificates, marriage licenses, passports, all that sort of stuff, and the pets. So, but we had the car ready, and I already put the back seat down so I could fit everything in. I was going to break some rules and put Abby's car seat in the front seat. So, yeah, so that we could fit more into the car to take with. Chintami says, so much of our suburbs are on floodplains, and most houses are not designed for it, and some areas have not flooded in so long people forget. Yeah, I mean, and that's definitely a part of it. I mean, here in Bethania, we didn't lose, like a lot of that, like we got flooded in, and people couldn't leave either their house or their street. But most of the houses were okay because they've been built just high enough up. But, you know, like there's a reason why Queenslanders, which is a style of house, were built up on stilts. It wasn't so you could build in underneath and build a second floor. It was so you had that much of space before like flood water, and it made it so air could flow all the way around your house and things like that. There's a reason they were built that way. So, yeah, it's just, but this was insane. This was an insane amount of water. That was just a crazy, insane amount of water. I don't even know what to say any more about that. Melissa has a storm kit and a portable safe ready for fire evacuation. Awesome. Oh, yeah, she's definitely too big for a car seat now. She can just sit in the front. Yeah. That would be funny. But yeah, no, it's just been a really interesting time. I've not coped with it the best, probably. And in saying that, like, I full well know that there have been other people who have had their lives devastated, and I don't want to diminish what they're saying or what's happened to them, because it's insanity. It's just crazy. But having the raw sewage of our neighborhood pump through our yard and make it so that we couldn't leave our yard without walking through it, just mentally floored me. Like we had to keep the house closed, and it was getting hot, and we were just baking in the house because we couldn't go out of the house or leave the house without walking through the sewage. And I'm a big lady. I've not been able to find a pair of decent sized gumboots that fit up over my calves that aren't steel caps. I did find some concreters gumboots that would do it, but they were steel capped and they were so heavy I struggled to walk in them. And that's the thing. So for me, I've not been able to do that. Now, I definitely want to make sure that at some stage I get Tim and Abby some gumboots, so that they could at least do it. But we've been trapped here. Like, we know where to go to get gumboots. So, Net says, I heard of a lady visiting from South Australia, and she messaged her husband and said there was 100 mil of rain. He replied, "You mean 10 mils?" And it was just like, yeah, no. We had, I'd have to double check, but I think we had about 1,000 mils of rain in our local area here. So it was just so insane. So insane. Anyway, my friends, I'm gonna bail. I'm gonna bail. I know it's 5 minutes early, but I've got this project staring at me, and I really want to go and check the yard. I'll definitely post in the group. If it's a lot better, I'll go and talk to my husband, find out what the deal is. And I will let you all know in the fun zone how it's going and how it's looking. I'll still be using the planks for a while. If you haven't seen me walking the plank, go and check out my Instagram stories. I posted a post there. So you can go and check out the planks. So they'll need to stay until, because this ground is just soggy. I basically step on it and sink in. I'll be using the plank system for a little bit longer until everything's all dried out. And that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to keep safe. You guys keep safe. And we will see what we can do. And I will catch you all next week. So be good and look after yourselves and care for each other and all that sort of stuff. You guys know how to do it. You're good people.